Hollywood is the land of dreams, drama, and obligatory diversity quotas. It is the sort of place where one can get blacklisted quicker than an indie at the Oscars for saying anything that can offend. But some actors, they didn't merely act. They ripped the script to shreds, set it ablaze, and were just like, nope, not my thing. So today we are talking about the brave, the bold, and most likely the ones who won't be witnessing an invite to the Met Gala anytime soon. Actors who stood against woke culture. Hollywood.
Ben Shapiro gave me a wonderful phone call as soon as I was canceled, and he had said, you need to punch back, you can't take this lying down. And we had to kind of uproot our lives from living in LA and an unsafe environment.
Oh, Gina Carano, once a fan favorite on The Mandalorian, now a Twitter legend. Playing Cara Dune, a warrior who could beat at least half of Hollywood with one punch. But then she made the big mistake of her life. She had an opinion.
Moved into an RV, and we traveled to Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee, to possibly live here. And in my head, I was thinking I was going to end up working for the Daily Wire, and we're going to do a movie together, and we were going to get this whole, other Hollywood started for conservatives, or for not just conservatives, but for anybody who just didn't want to kind of bend on the morals.
Boom. Fired before you could say stormtrooper in this context. Disney booted her out of the Star Wars universe. Like, boo, and then that unfavored fan theory goes into oblivion. But did she back down? No. With Ben Shapiro by her side, she made her movie. It is kinda like getting kicked out of school and then opening your own. In Hollywood, you can be a rebel, but you cannot afford to be one. Tim Allen, comedian, actor, and the only one to add grunting sounds as an actual punchline. This man has been a part of Hollywood for ages, starring in Home Improvement and voicing Buzz Lightyear for 26 years. But in Lightyear, 2022, Disney suddenly decided Buzz needed a different voice altogether. And not just any voice. Chris Evans. They were saying, oh no, it is just a different version of Buzz. Sure, and we will just trust them like we trusted them that Cats 2019 was actually a good idea. The result? A spectacular flop that even Andy would not buy.
What I got to do sometimes is explain, which I hate in big arenas, that this is a thought police thing, and I do not like it. But when I use these words, this is my intent behind those words.
Yeah. Wow.
So as long as you understand my intent, I still get people, well, just don't say it. And I said, I'm not going to do that.
Tim did not rant. He just casually roasted Disney by not showing interest. Honestly, that is more savage than any Twitter meltdown.
Woke hypocrisy is a subject that people are continually discussing, whether it's AOC's dress to the Met Gala or particular symbols that could be seen as woke washing without investing in the real issues behind gesture politics. It's something that's being discussed.
Russell Brand was once that wild British fellow Hollywood loved popping up as, well, a wild British guy. But he decided not to play ball with Hollywood's new social rules and went ahead and said whatever he wanted. The dude went from forgetting Sarah Marshall to bashing the media on YouTube on a daily basis.
How can we continue to passionately participate in this spectacle that doesn't change anything because it pledges in advance to the powerful that it will not change anything? You will never get real change by shouting in that direction.
Most actors are hanging on for dear life to remain in Hollywood. Russell? He simply walked out of there. No PR apology, no groveling, just a microphone, a YouTube channel, and millions of views. Hollywood wanted him to bend his knee and play pretend. He said, nah, I'd rather just be me. Big respect.
It's so disgusting, and the left and cancel culture has been dying to get their hands on Chris Pratt for so long because he embodies traditional values. But my favorite thing is his reaction to this. He actually posted a story to his Instagram, and he said, I have had a really bad last few days, last few hours, obviously mentioning or referencing how people have been coming after him on social media. And he goes, but I have been really pouring into scripture, pouring into the word, listening to worship music. He doubled down on those traditional values, and now their heads are exploding.
Chris Pratt, America's favorite blockbuster star, and the internet's least favorite celebrity. Why? Because he won't play the game. He is unapologetically religious, unapologetic for his beliefs, and worst of all, he is just a nice guy. So many times they have tried to cancel him in Hollywood, yet he keeps getting starring roles in Guardians of the Galaxy, Jurassic World, and Super Mario Bros. At this point, he is Teflon. They keep throwing stuff at him. He just keeps cashing checks from Disney. Legendary.
Finally, new rule, there's nothing wrong with not having an opinion on something. Especially if you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And if you're getting your facts from TikTok and Instagram and Facebook, I don't want to hear your hot take on asymmetrical warfare, because there's a term for someone who gets their news from Facebook. Mom.
Technically not an actor, but Bill Maher has been for decades roasting Hollywood while remaining part of it. One of the few hosts not to kneel to cancel culture.
Pride Month is now a minefield for corporations. This year, Target put up special rainbow displays which presented Christians who oppose gay marriage with an impossible choice. Either support a gay lifestyle and go to hell for it, or shop at Kohl's.
Bill has been unapologetic about free speech and called the industry's double standards while keeping his HBO job. Now that's talent.
It's dull. It's, nobody's enjoying. I grew up in a neighborhood with lots of different types of people, a lot of different nationalities, and along the way, because I moved a lot, I was born in the Depression, and so I moved a lot, and I knew a lot of people, and I always enjoyed the differences.
Clint Eastwood doesn't do cancel culture. The man is 90 plus years old and still making movies exactly how he wants. Hollywood tries to push social narratives. Clint? He pushes back, making movies his way, like American Sniper and Richard Jewell, two films that directly oppose attempts by mainstream media to control the narrative.
And I think if people enjoy the differences in everybody, then they are willing to, to have fun with it. We used to have fun with it. We'd insult each other and laugh and scratch with it, and it was not a bad thing. People didn't take themselves that seriously at that point in time.
If cancel culture ever tried to come for him, they'd just get a squint and a muttered, "Get off my lawn."
And comedy evolves, There's a new type of comedy at the moment called woke comedy, right? No, it's very progressive, There are some clubs now where the comedian has to sign a thing saying he won't say anything contentious or he won't say anything that could offend anyone. It's a safe space for the audience. Woke comedy. And I tried to watch a bit of it, and I decided I'd rather watch Louis C.K. masturbate.
Ricky Gervais is Hollywood's worst nightmare, a comedian who doesn't care. You put a mic in his hand, and suddenly, A-listers start looking like they just swallowed a lemon.
Let's have a laugh at your expense, shall we? Remember, they're just jokes. We're all gonna die soon, and there's no sequel. So...
Imagine being roasted on national TV while restrained from retaliating through a comeback to protect your career. That's the Ricky Gervais experience. They haven't invited him back since. Wonder why.
And especially now, we're living through times where we're very quick to cancel people without even knowing their real name or their true background or their true stories. And I don't want to be a part of that trend anymore. I really want to be a true believer that second impressions are just as important as the first.
Zoe Saldana is an actress who has starred in some of the biggest franchises in history. Yet she has not been immune to backlash. Critics slammed Saldana for portraying Nina Simone in Nina for not being the right representation for the role. Instead of saying sorry for taking on an uphill battle, Zoe fired back, saying that actors should be free to transform into characters without limitations. Imagine canceling an actor for acting. She later reaffirmed that she would never let critics dictate her career. And since she seems to still be landing big roles, it looks like Hollywood needs her a lot more than she needs Hollywood. And there you have it. Hollywood's rebels, survivors, and truth tellers. They played by their own rules and demonstrated that sticking by your convictions does not always amount to a career death sentence. Instead, it might mean simply outlasting the trend.